The IBA's government relations program is considered one of the best in the Capitol. We have 6 seasoned lobbyists who together have more than 130 years of legislative and political expertise. It is true that our industry has fared very well over the years, but today's political environment has made it increasingly more difficult for our industry to remain successful. That's why we need every banker directly involved in our legislative program, and that's why we need a stronger PAC. Illinois Bank PAC helps us maximize our political strength.
Every bank in the state of Illinois needs to contribute to the Illinois Bank PAC. All the other financial entities out there, the organizations, are doing this, and some of them are lobbying against banks.
The people that we are competing against, the credit unions, the brokerage firms, the mutual funds, have increased their funding.
The economic reality of it is that without the funds to operate our bank PAC, we don't have as strong a voice with the legislators.
The Illinois Bankers Association, through its PAC, is trying to make contributions to legislators who have a view that supports the bankers.
It gives all the banks in the state, whether we're a $1 billion bank or a $19 million bank, a voice in government in Springfield.
The credit unions, the realtors, the Walmarts of the world all want a piece of our business. And if we're not in Springfield and Washington every day defending our industry, then we'll lose market share.
Recently, somebody had its brilliant idea to regulate ATM fees in the state of Illinois. We looked in our organization at BC Bank, and we found that it would cost us a considerable amount of money if that regulation went through.
This last year, we had a perfect example of some very negative legislation that was presented that concerned taxes in Illinois. Through the Illinois Bank PAC, through our lobbying effort, through the education of our members, through the active participation of our members, we were able to bring this type of negative legislation to the forefront, and we were able to keep it from becoming law.
Well, whether we like it or not, government plays a major role in our lives, and our personal lives and our businesses, and particularly a business like banking, which is heavily regulated, and that's not going to change. Now, there will be changes in the regulation, and that's what I think bankers have to be concerned, that if they're not in the process, if they don't know their legislators, if they're not people that elected officials will talk with before they change policies, they could very well wake up some morning and find out the banking industry that they know and do well in has been completely altered because they're not part of the process. They didn't have input.
If we don't give them the input or the financial aid, we're not going to get what we want.
So I think it's important that the bankers and that their employees and directors all take an active role in understanding what's happening in our state and in our national levels of government.
The contribution to the PAC is really the lifeblood that allows the Bankers Association to be able to actively support and represent all of its members.
We need to be a player in the game, and if we're not, the rules are set for us and we don't get to have any input as to what those rules may be. An Illinois Bank PAC gives us the opportunity to sit at the rule-making table.
We haven't been active enough in this process, but in order to present our case to get the rules that would be most beneficial to us and to our franchise, we have to be very active. We have to be part of the process.
The PAC allows the bankers, I think, to be able to assist those candidates who share the same philosophy and to be effective in helping them, because you're able to bring in more money. And unfortunately in politics, you need an adequate funded campaign to be successful. And a lot of good people have lost because they haven't been able to raise the money.
Any election requires cash for a person to get elected. And the Illinois Bank PAC provides a vehicle to help certain individuals get elected that we know will help banking.
Politics is very important in the state of Illinois, and the PAC money, of course, is the way that we raise funds to give to candidates that support our policies and our legislation.
The Illinois Bank Pact does a wonderful job in representing the industry, the banking industry here in Springfield, and they do a great job of it. But there are times when they may need some additional resources in order to bring about victory on their side. So a person should not be thrifty when it comes to giving the resources that are necessary.
It takes money to get our story told, and that's what the Bank Pact does for us through our legislators.
Membership of the IBA does not buy any membership into or participation in the PAC. There are laws that prohibit that, so we can't take money from the general operating fund of the Illinois Bankers Association and use those dollars to make contributions via the PAC.
Each institution's fair share contribution level is based on its asset size. A bank can reach its fair share goal through a corporate contribution from a state chartered institution, a corporate contribution from a holding company, accumulated personal contributions, or a combination of corporate and personal contributions.
We ask each institution and each banker to give their fair share because we can't be in this game by ourselves. It takes many people to contribute. And by putting all of our resources together, we can be an effective source, we can be effective contributors.
The company can make its contribution, as well as the individuals can make their own individual contributions to assist the PAC.
The easiest way to support the Illinois Bank Pact is to write a check.
It's very easy for a state bank just to make a direct contribution to the PAC. If you're a national bank, you can do it very easily through your holding company, if you have a holding company set up. I know we receive guidelines from the IBA with regards to fair share. We certainly try to hit those fair share guidelines.
I don't think it's an expense, I think it's an investment. And I think that the investment is in our industry and the investment is in us. It's in our communities, it's in our employees, and it's in our families.
It's one of the best investments you can make in order to protect the franchise value of your bank and your bank's ability to do business in the state of Illinois.
Because a contribution to the PAC is really the lifeblood that allows the Bankers Association to be able to actively support and represent all of its members.
Well, you pinch a few pennies now, it may cost you a lot more later. And we're talking about dollars, and we're talking about a lot of them. So it's best to become proactive.
I think they would find themselves to be a penny wise and a pound foolish if they decided not to be involved in the PAC.
Take a leadership role, set an example, make a sizable contribution to the Illinois Bank PAC, and get involved in the Illinois Bank Association.
Not only should we write a check as the CEO of a bank, and each of us has an individual responsibility to support Illinois Bank Pact, but it's also critical that we go beyond ourselves and encourage every one of our officers to participate, and also every member of our board of directors, because we're all here participating actively, working in the same industry.
Illinois Bank PAC is a nonpartisan political action committee governed by Illinois bankers to benefit the entire banking industry. By pooling your contribution with those of other bankers, our industry will have a greater impact on the overall outcome of the political process. By law, our association cannot contribute for you. Bankers must make all political contributions voluntarily. State banks, bank holding companies, and individuals can all contribute to Illinois Bank PAC. All contributors will be recognized at IBA events and in our Illinois Banker magazine. Please review our Illinois Bank PAC brochure for more information.